So getting right into it, I'm going to be sending the supercharger, plenum, and throttle body to Steigmeier for a stage 7 port, polish, and gasket match on each one of them. Some people have a misconception on the porting from Steigmeier. They think, whoa, stage 7, that's a huge number. A stage 2 is a little bit more efficient than a stage 1. They took a stage 1 and figured out that they could rework this port a little bit better, do this a little bit better, make it more efficient. Let's call it a stage 2, and etc. They kept on going. So with that being said, for those who have been following my channel, I appreciate that. I made 417 with the stock 3.65 pulley from a Cobra. It's a 417 horsepower, 386 torque. The Cobras with this pulley make stock 8 psi. I have intake work, full exhaust, a little bit of head work, so all that adds up to decreased restriction, increased flow, which means that with the same size pulley, I'm actually making 6.5 psi. Now, I'm actually making about 30-40 horsepower more than a stock Cobra would make, but at 1.5 pounds less. So if I were to bring that psi up a bit to make it equal to a stock Cobra at 8 psi, you would really see the efficiency of those mods that I have come into play, because then I would have a lot more horsepower than a stock Cobra at 8 psi. Now, what I plan on doing, whenever they port this little Heaton, it's going to make it a lot more efficient, and I plan on doing a 3.1 pulley up top with a 4-pound lower. The good thing about a 4-pound lower is, or the good thing about a lower pulley, and just in general, is whenever you basically max out the top pulley, whenever you go so small that you touch the housing, you can only go so small before you take up this gap in between here and actually rub. As you're spinning, you'll rub the snout or the casing. Now, the smallest pulley you can put on here is a 2.76. It's good for about 14 psi on a Cobra or an Eaton M112. Now, if you do a 4-pound lower, that's going to be 18 psi. They go 2, 4, 6, and 8. Each number represents pounds. So if you get a 4-pound, that's going to add 4 pounds to your system as a whole. I'm going to plan on doing a 3.1 to start off the port, 3.1 with a 4-pound lower, get it tuned. I'm going to get used to that power level, and then I'll want to do a little bit more, do a 2.76, 4-pound lower, get it tuned. Once I'm all said and done with this Eaton, I should be around 550, which is a pretty respectable number. I'll be perfectly fine at 550 pushing it through an Eaton. And I guess that's pretty much it. I mean, I guess I'll stop talking about the old and I'll bring in the new. They all polished up. Okay, so this is the continuation of the before and after video of on a Steigmeier stage 7 ported supercharger, plenum, and throttle body. So get right into it. Starting with the throttle body, has this nice finish on it, nice polished finish. They took down all the high spots, all the sharp corners, rough edges going into the each blade. Took down all the high spots, put a nice finish on it. That's really nice. The plenum, same type of finish. This is a stock plenum, by the way. Now, you can see a lot of the gasket material right here. This is actually, this was not really touched at all as far as taking it farther in this way, making the port bigger. But over here you can see that this is actually a really thin gasket mating surface. That's because of the way, and it'll be a little bit clearer when I show you the supercharger, but the way that they port these, they're trying to get airflow to the inside rotor. Kind of the similar thing when you are dealing with the cylinder head. It's kind of the quickest path for air to get into the what you're working with. So they actually welded quite a lot on this plenum. You can see this texture right here, kind of a even rough texture, and then over here it gets a little bit smoother. You can see a little bit of ripples, imperfections and whatnot. Same thing over here. They actually welded all this material in. They welded this big blob of material on there, and then that allowed them to go in and take material away. That way they didn't bust through the wall. So that was nice. Repainted everything, refinished everything. So now onto the supercharger. Got Steigmeier's badge. Told them to leave the pulley off of the supercharger. I had a, it's over here somewhere. I had a 3.65 stock pulley. I had them take that one off and leave it in the box because I still wanted it for no reason. So I plan on doing a 3.4 upper with a billet flow 3.4 upper with a billet flow, or sorry, a Metco 4-pound lower. That's gonna give me right around 13 psi, and that's gonna be my in-between horsepower and psi. And then later on I'll do 276 4-pound lower and take it to the max. But on the supercharger, same story here. Now I have before and after measurements as well as a video to go along with it. So I'll show what the port started at from this point to this point, as well as over here. This is the same thing on the. This is going to match up with this side. So they were taking a lot of material off of this side, trying to get it to wrap around this corner faster. Hence the shorter path for the air to flow. So you can see that they actually took a lot of material off on this corner. The old port, and I'm going to try to do this with a screwdriver, the old port went to about here. Let's see if I can zoom in. Old port went to about here, so it started here, kind of wrapped around, and stopped about right there. They actually took all of this material down, and allowed for a lot better flow in that area. Same thing with the back. They took it all the way to that rotor. You can see that they had to weld in this area as well. They had to weld right here to prevent busting through when they were trying to push that back wall all the way to the outside rotor. So that's just one thing you have to do. I believe that they start welding them at stage 3. This is a stage 7, so anything past stage 3, they would start to weld it, I believe. Not really sure though. So yeah, let me flip it over real quick and show you the bottom. Okay, so onto the bottom. I'll have before and after pictures so you can see what it was before and then after, of course. In this section, this would have tapered in, coming to a nice little V. They said no, open that all up, made a little hourglass type shape. They actually busted through over here to allow the back rotors to breathe a little bit, and they you know, made this completely new. So that is that, and that is the end of this stage 7 port by Steigmeier. Thank you for watching.